welcome back to Open Your Eyes this here Thursday morning. Jumping right into the first segment, we're going to be talking about the MSME Enhancement Program. And with us today, starting at my right, we have Mr. Ishmael Quiroz. He is the Executive Director of the Public-Private Sector Dialogue in the Office of the Prime Minister. We also have Ms. Monique Usher, the manager of SBDC Belize, and we have Mr. Rigel Bowen, who is the acting systems administrator at the Customs Department.
Oh, good morning and welcome, guys.
Good morning.
Welcome.
And it's nice to have you in. Normally when we get here, it's always about being, I wonder what the conversation is going to be like. This morning's conversation is definitely one for the public to reckon. And I'm saying this from the standpoint that today's day and age, we're actually seeing a lot of entrepreneurs. I think the government of Belize is doing a great job in trying to create that avenue for people to become entrepreneurs. I have something, you have something, we buy from each other, we tend to flourish and bloom. But the hardship of it is, how do we tend to market this out of our country, which export is very important. So that's where I want to start. I want for us to begin with explaining what the MSME is, and then we move from there. Ishmael?
The MSME Enhancement Program. I'd like to begin by, I think every Belizean has a childhood memory of their mom buying locally produced peanut butter.
Yes.
That somehow didn't compare to Skippy or Peter Pan.
Yes.
Right? The label is definitely more attractive. And it goes to the point that producing stuff locally is costly, and a lot of the times the packaging that goes into it is expensive. Yeah. And so the MSME Enhancement Program is a program that has been designed by the government of Belize to afford especially micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises some sort of relief on the duties applicable to packaging and labeling materials, so that entrepreneurs can make their product more attractive and perhaps invest in fine-tuning and polishing it and making it competitive with the imported
Can I ask what by definition is an MSME?
Sure.
Monique?
If we're looking at an MSME, by definition, we're going to look at the MSME policy, which was endorsed in 2012.
Yeah.
And looking at the classification, there's a three-tier classification. So you have micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. So when you're looking at micro, you're looking at the owner-manager and less than 5 employees. In terms of annual sales, 100,000 in annual sales, and investment size less than $50,000. So that's for micro. If we're looking at small, now you're looking at 5 to 19 employees and less than 500,000 in investment in annual sales and 150,000 in investment. Now looking at medium-sized companies, you're looking at 20 to 51 employees, less than 1.5 in annual sales, and looking at less than 500,000 in investment. So that's the classification for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. And as Ismail mentioned, this program is to assist with the enhancement of micro, small, medium-sized enterprises. So companies that fit within these tier classification can be beneficiaries under the program.
How do we continue to see the rise with the MSME in terms of, I'm not sure that there are a lot of businesses right now in our country who have got probably 5 to 19 employees.
Yeah.
They're actually doing an annual sale of 500,000. They're actually putting in 150,000. But this is exactly where we want to go. For me, I think the thing is actually the buy-in. If I know that we're capable, but how do I put myself in the position to even think that? Do I have to wait on GOB? What happens here? How do we get this off the ground?
To assist them with the transfer from tiers. Again, if you look at our economy, a lot of our businesses are very micro or small, but are the backbone to our country. And this program looks at assisting with the scalability of businesses. And so the focus for us at the center is to provide advisory services that looks at enhancing their product or looks at enhancing their business model to have them be more competitive and to position themselves better in the market. As you may be aware, SBDC's 2 primary or core services are business advisory services and trainings and capacity buildings.
Yeah.
And we've seen that the intervention and the services that we offer assist these businesses with growing, because as Ishmael mentioned, we've had instances where clients come into us at the center and tell us, okay, I have this product, I've been having my family members try it, friends, I participated in Expo. People like my product, but I have an issue because I go to the local grocery store to try to get my product in there, but they're telling me that I need to enhance the appearance of the product. And that's the role that SBDC plays with product development, assist them with distribution and looking at marketing that product that they're looking at creating.
As it relates to picking this as your subject for this program, because MSMEs will tell you, hey, we need seed funding, just hand us money. Why labeling? Why packaging? Did you do a study or something, an analysis that shows that this is something that will really make a difference for MSMEs? Ishmael?
Sure. So one of the primary functions of the Economic Development Council, or EDC, is to be that bridge between public and private sector. And we actually host the Prime Minister's Business Forums. We had one just in February this year.
Yeah.
At a prior business forum, it had been identified that the cost of inputs, particularly packaging materials, is a challenge for small businesses. And so what the government did an initial round of surveys to identify, to confirm that this is the case, and to get a sense of, what small businesses are typically importing in the form of packaging and labeling materials. And so zoning in on that, it was, really a targeted effort to reduce the cost of this input into locally produced goods, so that then we can encourage small businesses to grow.
Before we get to where the Customs Department plays its role into it, I'd like to, going through the read-up, there are a few things that are actually, that we could pull from the MSME enhancement. So I'd like to go there. We're talking here labeling, we're talking labeling machines. Can we continue on with what are the help aspects of this entire program?
So there's a list. Maybe Monique can actually go through some of the things
Sure.
that qualify.
When it comes to the list that we're looking at, again, for persons listening at home and who would want to see the master list, I'm inviting you to visit our Beltrade website, www.belizeinvest.org/MEP. And some of the items that are eligible under this program includes adhesive, plates, film, foils, sacks, bag, carboys, looking at bottles, flasks, lids, cups, packaging, cases, boxes, packaging containers, labels, tanks, looking at casks, crates, pouches, paper wrapping, drums, and cans. And of course, the list is extended. And when it comes to custom role in this, it's to assist us with the clearance and to do the approval for the custom import duty on the packaging and labeling material. And as Ishmael mentioned, this was done in consultation. So Beltrade and the EDC a couple of years ago were in consultation with the private sector to see what the needs were, and it was based on these items that were shared that a master list was developed, and this was taken into consideration and approved by cabinet.
Does the average MSME buy and ship its own packaging, or do we have a culture here that we tend to buy from distributors because maybe we're not going to order a big enough order to do it ourselves and benefit from this? Is that something that, as a part of your sensitization, you will encourage businesses to more be in charge of their importing of their own packaging versus buying from distributors who will mark it up for profit before it even gets to the MSME itself?
The idea is for businesses to purchase directly. And then there's a system for the customs brokerage service side of things that maybe Mr.
Jump in, Mr. Bowen.
Our role in all of this is to provide the platform, first of all, to be able to extend and manage the treatment of this exemption. Every importation that is afforded some kind of exemption has to be documented through the clearance process. You have to submit a customs declaration and go through all of that. So this is not the first time we have been doing this. We do it with Ministry of Finance, and we have done it with the main Beltrade arm. But this is the first time we are targeting a very specific category of importers, because the other ones are for whoever gets the exemption when they apply. But this is specifically targeting MSMEs. So this makes it different. And yes, you're right in saying that they are not in the culture of importing their own, because the amounts that they will want to import will be probably too small in their view. But to get this being bought from a distributor won't really help in that regard, because at this point, whatever the distributor has is already imported, is already duty paid.
Yes.
So you're going to be paying duty paid prices. This is on first imports. But in the case that the individual MSME is kind of reluctant to do their own importing, we're also looking at another way to help them either pool together or identify someone, a bigger operator who will be invested in helping them in this initiative and understand what is it we want to achieve.
But I'm on board there. But let's say we get somebody, a bigger investor. Can that person apply for the duty exemption? And then how is that ruled out? Because if we pool together and we say, you know what, we're going to get this bigger investor, that individual might be, that duty could be on there. But my thing is, how do they get that duty exemption? How do they apply for this?
Well, the first importation in a case like this will be done in a suspense procedure, meaning that big operator is going to have a bonding facility where those packaging materials imported will be housed in that bonded facility in a suspense manner where duties are not liable, not payable immediately. And then as the individual MSME requires whatever they need, they can purchase from the bigger operator, and another documentation will be created. That's where the duty exemption treatment will come in. Not on the first importation in that instance, but on the removal from the facility.
I see. Yes, that does make a lot
It
of sense.
does, you know, and because just from the MSME, there will be definitely there will be a lot of people who would want to go on it, and I really encourage for people to do so, because when we do, we actually create jobs, which eventually enhances our economy. Now, is there a list of MSMEs? Because of the duty exemption, again, we want to encourage these folks to go online. You make your own purchase, which gives you the ability to see what it is like elsewhere. And I always say, in order for you to flourish, you must be exposed. So is there a list of people who we can say, you know what, yes, they want to get duty exemption? Do we have this?
This program is open to absolutely all MSMEs once you fall into the category, and once what you're importing qualifies, you know, in terms of is on the list. But one of the challenges that we have in working with SMEs is that we don't actually have a list. From estimates from previous studies, there are between 15 and 17,000 micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in Belize. And actually, this program will begin to help us have a clearer sense of the SMEs that exist and operate in Belize, because they will have to go through a registration process, right? And getting them into the databases and the systems will really help the country to have that clear sense, that list of SMEs that are active.
You
have to understand that the category of importers we're trying to target have been before now invisible to the importing community. Like you said, they won't import from outside. They'll just go to a distributor locally and purchase.
Yes.
So that's below our radar.
What comes to mind as well is the fact that there are a lot of big businesses out there who are actually opening other businesses. Now, they will actually register this business and say, hey, we're going to have 16 people that work for me, and we're only investing this amount of money. But they are big businesses. We know for a fact that they are big businesses. So would you say that we would eventually put them with this program as well, being that they're trying to go with another business under that umbrella? Can this work?
So there's going to be a tracking system that
Of course.
that basically keeps stock of what each registered business registered with the program has it estimated as their imports, right? And so every time that they do make an import, you know, it's just tracked to monitor exactly how they're going to grow, the volumes that they import and stuff like that. And it's also a system to kind of like also monitor things that necessarily be done, like for example resale and, you know, or exceeding your estimated limit and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some systems in place to kind of like just test that and also to measure.
And, you know, I see that for this program in particular, it's required that the MSME register for this program. Now, I think one of the hardest things to do is to get your MSMEs out in general and get them to also to even put anything on paper, because, of course, there is a benefit of being informal for a lot of MSMEs. They see a benefit there. why did you choose to do a registration for this program versus, say, for example, just utilizing already registered MSMEs, or using their documents that they may already have? Why did you see it important for this particular benefit to ensure that you got a listing of registered and subscribed MSMEs?
For this program, we're looking at ensuring that those operating in the informal setting become formalized. So we're assisting them with the formalization process if needs be. And again, we have a documentary checklist or items that must be provided to assist with the onboarding in this program. So you're going to provide us with a copy of a copy or certified copy of the Certificate of Registration or Incorporation from the Belize Companies and Corporate Affairs Registry. And if this is something that an MSME has not been able to complete as yet, we provide assistance with the guidance on the steps to look at formalizing that process. In addition, they provide us with a valid copy of their social security or passport, proof of registration as an employer or self-employed person with the Belize Social Security. So they provide us with that letter. They also provide us with an official letter from the General Sales Tax Department, whereby they're requesting an importer's tax identification number from the department. And lastly, a short list of the packaging and labeling items that they're looking at importing, because we want to get an idea more or less in terms of the volume that they will be anticipating to import, so that we could do the tracking, as Ishmael mentioned. And of course, we want to see progression in the program. And I think you spoke to that earlier in terms of transitioning from micro to small to medium. We want to be able to report and to see where the custom import duty is impacting these businesses and how it's assisting with change in sales, maybe looking at expansion in the market and other areas.
You asked the question, why go this route of registration? Remember that any duty exemptions afforded to any importation must be documented during the clearance process. And since we are trying to target these people specifically, we can only target them and identify them if they're formalized.
Yeah.
They have to be formalized for us to identify who they are, so that we can have the rules set up in our system to make sure that when their TIN number, for example, is on that document, it recognizes them as a recipient of this exemption treatment and passes it through.
It's all about empowerment and capacity building. One of the biggest benefits of being in the program, apart from accessing duty exemption, is actually accessing the support services provided by SBDC. Small businesses, entrepreneurs may need some guidance and assistance and hand-holding, to go through the steps of improving their business, formalizing and things like that. And that's a definite benefit. I
think that's a win-win situation whereby, it's not often that you start a business because you went to school to start a business or for entrepreneurship. Sometimes it just comes to you that this is what I feel I should do. So to know that we're actually given the avenue to be handheld, to show us exactly how to make things happen, I think that's where the win-win situation would come in. For small businesses, again, looking at it and saying, man, I could get a duty exemption and I could get my things rolling in to eventually look better to be rolled out of the country, helping me make some money, giving jobs around my neighborhood. So it brings me to ask Mr. Bowen, when it comes to the application for a duty exemption, how is this? I'm asking this as in my mind, I have my business to roll, and I need to know now, man, what part I could start this. This is a part of the handheld situation here. So can you tell us about that?
Well, it's not a case where you apply to customs for an exemption. Customs is not in the business of giving exemptions.
There you go. See?
This is an initiative that has been identified and sanctioned by the government.
Yes.
This is already planned. So we already have the rule built in the system to accommodate this. So the application process is to identify yourself with SBDC. If they say you're a recipient, we will include you and the exemption is honored.
Okay, and this program, because this is definitely a wonderful program, is there a close window for this, or this rolled out and we're gone?
It's live, it's available, it's ready. There's no specific time frame. What we're looking forward to is tracking the progress and the impact to see what else we can add on to this to benefit MSMEs. But first, let's get this right. Let's get people in, registered, applying and qualifying to prove that it can work. And what we also want to show to the Ministry of Finance in particular is that by foregoing a little bit of import duty, we can actually have a positive impact on stimulating economic growth.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be tracking specific things in terms of number of businesses formalized, the growth in their sales, to show and to open government's eyes to, okay, actually, this is an investment, right? Let's keep on doing this sort of thing, not only for small and micro-sized enterprises, but for businesses in general, right? So, let's stimulate economic growth.
So this program was formally launched on, what was the date?
May
that
24th.
March 29th.
March
29th
yes.
or
May.
I think it was May
May
29th.
May 29th, sorry.
Right, and so how has the uptake been since then? I'm hearing about a roadshow. Sounds like, can I come? I mean, it sounds really exciting.
Yes.
But what is a roadshow about? Where are you going? Who are you looking for? Should they call you first, or are you just going to show up? Or tell us a little bit about how you're going to reach out to the MSMEs to get on board with the program.
So the idea behind the roadshow is to sensitize the general public and to provide additional information on the program and also look at enrollment in the program. So we actually started yesterday in San Pedro and here in Belize City, and we're targeting persons who are producers or who are importing packaging and labeling material, who have registered their companies. And for those who have not registered their companies, SBDC will be providing support and guidance with the process of registration. And tomorrow we travel to Corozal, and at 9 a.m. at the Corozal Town Council. We're going to be at Banquita's House of Culture at 2 p.m. in Orange Walk. And then we move to San Ignacio on the 22nd and Belmopan on the 22nd. Also looking at having a session in Dangriga on the 24th and on the 31st in Punta Gorda. Again, the schedule is available on our Facebook page. It's available on our website. So persons who are interested who are from within those vicinity, they can see the schedule. And of course, for us at Beltrode, it's all about partnership. So we've partnered with other agencies to promote specifically in this roadshow the different municipalities, and they're encouraging their business community to attend the session. And of course, it's an open invitation for those who might have had a desire to create a product but have been thinking about packaging and labeling material to make it attractive. We are there to assist you with product development. So there are different areas that the program covers. It's not only the custom import duty exemption as a benefit of the program, but it's the additional added services that you can access.
Yesterday we had a conversation with Statistical Institute of Belize, and stats play everything. It starts in the home, which brings me to say, yes, we got started on May 29th, which, that's when we rolled out. What are we looking forward to by the end of the year? And I'm saying this because for a lot of people, and this might be a culture of Belize, this might sound wrong, but we tend to want piggyback. People would say, you know what, if we see growth and enhancement, definitely we're going on there. So what do we expect by the end of the year when it comes to this program? What are we looking for?
We're looking to have MSMEs join in, qualify for the program. In terms of a specific target, I think we do have some estimated uptake. But I'm not sure how much by the end of the year.
But and also for me is that are there potential MSMEs out there that you guys are looking at who might be afraid to tap into the market? And then what are we doing with these people to try and get them out?
Sure. When it comes to SBDC Belize, we have a client list, likewise with Beltrode. And so we're doing targeted invitation to have persons on board into the program. And of course, the general public who listens and feels that they meet the criteria, they're welcome to enroll into the program, provide us with the requisite documents that's needed. SBDC vets the application, and if it's something that meets the criteria, then they're approved and onboarded into the program. And of course, we update customs on their participation in the MSME Enhancement Program. And of course, we've worked with other partners, so like the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry. they're assisting us with promoting this program to ensure that their members are beneficiary under the program. And of course, we've also roped in the financial institutions because they have clients that can benefit from this program. So it's really a holistic approach in terms of integrating the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
And I'm sorry to play devil's advocate, but you
I would
know,
tell you no problem.
but you know, there is always this impression that we have great ideas of things that can help, but then it gets so caught up in red tape and bureaucracy that, you know, it ends up being more of a burden than anything else. So is this a sort of program where I sign up today and I ship tomorrow and everything is ready to go? Or is there an unloading period where after I sign up and I give you all my documentation, it takes 2 weeks before customs loads it into their system? How soon can I begin to plan to benefit from this program?
So based on the uptake to date, because we've actually successfully processed and gotten people into the system, including the customs system, it's looking like a 2-day time frame, right, for that process to be completed, so that then at that point, they can then import, present their invoice, engage with their customs broker, and have it cleared because it's instantaneous within the customs system once they're approved.
So what if I have a shipment on the way and I sign up? Will it apply to when it lands, it's applicable, or do I need to start a new shipment and give you my bill of lading and that sort of thing after signing up?
Well, it's a good thing you asked that because we have a culture here in Belize where we like to import first and then seek everything else afterwards. And for something like this, it is best that you get yourself situated first before you start doing formal importation. If your shipment is still on its way and you are in the system, you're good to go.
Good to know. Excellent.
What about when it comes to shipment quality? Because yes, there is always this shortcut, and it comes again with the culture. It comes again with the culture whereby we try to take the shortcut, especially with the little money that we've got. Can I go probably to the Ministry of Finance or the relative people to ask the quality of the product that I'm about to bring in, because I want to save on what I have, but at the same time the quality might not be that for long term. Can I get this kind of advice from our people?
You mean in terms
Am
of
I able to?
You mean the quality in terms of the materials
In terms of the material,
So
because we're looking long term here.
Yeah,
You don't just
absolutely.
want to get something and
Sure.
this is not going to work.
Sure, and it's a great thing that you ask because as Monique mentioned, this is all about partnership. And so we've been working very closely with, for example, the Belize Bureau of Standards,
Yes.
who is quite interested in ensuring that the quality of labeling in particular, but obviously also of the packaging materials is up to scratch. And so one of the services is guidance in terms of connection with the Belize Bureau of Standards to help especially the micro and small size businesses be able to kind of ensure that what they're going to be importing is going to be acceptable for the local market, and especially if you're thinking about trying to get into export markets, that it meets the standard. So there's support there. Maybe in the longer term, we include it as a requirement for certain goods, but to begin with, there's the access to the support.
All right. I'm sure there's so much more to touch on this topic, but at the same time, let's get back again to the Roadshow, because somebody might have missed it. You know, we're going to about their time of the morning and getting ready for work. So let's get back to the Roadshow. It is very important for MSME businesses, micro, small. It is very important for them to take advantage of what's going on now. This is for the long term, better for the economy, best for the economy. Let's get back once again to the Roadshow before we close.
Sure. So the dates for the Roadshow, the 12th, we are traveling to Corozal in the morning, and in the afternoon, we're traveling to Orange Walk. On the 22nd, we're doing San Ignacio and Belmopan in the afternoon. On the 24th, we're doing Punta Gorda, and on the 31st, we're doing Dangriga. The morning session starts at 9, and the afternoon session starts at 2. So for persons who are home who are interested in participating in the Roadshow, you can call us at 223-3195, and we can enroll you or have you participate in the Roadshow and then provide you with support prior to the Roadshow. So maybe if you need to put together your documents, we share with you what the checklist entails to assist you in ensuring that when you visit us for the Roadshow, because for the Roadshow, another objective is to do registration. So if we have persons who have met the documentary checklist, we're going to look at processing their application to get them enrolled into the program. And of course, the application process is a one-time process to capture their contact information, to create that profile in the system, and then of course they start to access the benefits for the program.
If I could say that the roadshows are also a great opportunity for entrepreneurs to showcase their products.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring out samples, because it's not only SBDC that's going to be interested in it, it's the other participants, other people attending. Somebody might not know that you're producing some jam, jelly, some sauce or something like that. Bring it out, let's show it off.
Excellent. Ishmael Quiroz, thank you so very much. Rigel Bowen and Monique Usher, we want to thank you guys so very much for providing us with this update. We are on the road. This is definitely a great way for our country to flourish. Thank you guys once again.
Thank you for having us.
All right, and when we come back, we will be chit-chatting with Public Sector Workers Trust. They'll be giving us some updates, so stay with us. We'll be right back.